Hello. So we're going to do a pick a card. Take a sip of water. Please take a sip of water too. Always a good idea to stay hydrated during these times. Our bodies are going through a lot. We are being upgraded energetically in our bodies. A lot of people might experience this as illness. I wouldn't claim that. I just make the room for my body to do its upgrade. So here's some rings from my shop. We're going to do helpful spiritual insights for you right now. It's a general reading, so only take what resonates for you. If it is helpful, then it is meant for you. If it is not, then it's not meant for you. So leave it for someone else. Always use your own discernment. Always check in with yourself and how you feel. So pick one is this gold aluminum ring with amethyst stones. Pick two is just snowflake obsidian tumbled stone. And I'm sure I got this particular stone from North Star Gems. So if you're local, then you know that's in Bridgewater, New Hampshire. And if you're not local, you can find her on Etsy. She's a wonderful woman who has a great crystal shop, and I highly recommend. I don't get all my supplies from her, but I definitely visit her quite often and I always enjoy her company. Now, pick three is this purple aluminum wire with amethyst stones. I do have some copper rings. This is a different style. I'll be coming out with a kind of a launch on these soon. I'm doing a little bit of a campaign on them and I will show some different ideas. And I think that's all. Let's get started. Visit my website for if you're interested in ordering any of these items or some of the other items that I offer. My website is juliemandytuller.life. Mandy is spelled with an I, because that's the way it is. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to lighten up a little. It's nice when I lighten up a little. Having some stressful things going on here at home for myself personally. But, flowing through. Surrendering. I surrender. Okay. Look at who we have. Aphrodite. The goddess of beauty. Osiris, putting the pieces back together. A meeting of energies is happening right now that will be helpful, perhaps in repairing your vision of beauty or what is beautiful. You might be communicating about this, or it might be happening through your short distance travel, siblings, or neighbors. You might be communicating about this if I didn't just say that. Something about this is going to set the scales straight. Like there's been some sort of injustice, and now through becoming whole, bringing back fragments into ourselves, we are balancing the scales, creating wisdom and justice out of the situation. Maybe you couldn't see the beauty in a situation before, but it's going to become available and apparent to you. Yeah, there's some sort of challenge which may be seen publicly. It has to do with this. It's it's happening because some sort of tension under the surface, but it's definitely being expressed publicly, maybe creatively, but very loud, very seen, very in the sun, very bold, very, very prideful. There may have been pride involved in something that is now going to be shifting around the way you see beauty, perhaps, or what value beauty holds. It's a new day. This is like a whole new view that's being offered to you. But what is changing is something that was below the surface. An eighth house issue. It's like an old belief or an old way of thinking about something is dying to reveal and allow this new way. And I'm just looking up the asteroid Hebe because for whatever reason I cannot recall asteroid Hebe meaning. I'm having like such an inflammation attack that it's like closing up my throat and nasal cavities. So if you hear me kind of nasally, that's why. Highly associated with service and domestic themes and affairs. Physical beauty and attraction, especially with a sense of youthfulness. Okay, so this is the daughter of Zeus. Yeah, there's maybe you're like having one of those glow ups or whatever, right? You're like becoming or feeling much more beautiful than you ever have before. Hebe is the fifth brightest object in the asteroid belt after Vesta, Sirius, Iris, and Pallas. Okay, you're about to shine your light so publicly, so big, and so whole. More whole than you've ever been. You're setting the scales back in balance through this expression, which seems to be very divinely guided. Like there are energies coming together right now for you to be able to do this, activating you in this shift. And you're shifting from the inside. You're shifting from way deep inside you. Some belief that you've been holding that was in your subconscious is shifting. And the experience that it created for you is over. It's like a new day now. There's a new way. You may be expressing yourself in a completely different way now from now on. In a beautiful way, by the way. It's Aphrodite is the beautiful one. There's no questions here. There's no competition. Um, there's nothing to keep you from doing this anymore. Yeah, everything just aligns and it's like so clear. Wow. Okay, let's see if we can get some letters for initials or words that might be relevant to this whole thing. Sometimes we make words out of these, and it can be fun. Makes me giggle sometimes because sometimes you get like rhyming words, and for whatever reason, my consciousness loves rhyming words. Okay, we're gonna use this piece of paper. Keep paper close by now in case I come across anything I need to remember while I'm doing this. Assembling these letters that say, is there something that you need to say? Is there something that you will be saying? Just my water pump. We've got stay. We've got stray. We've got liar. We've got J. We've got pay. We've got peas. We've got wrap. We've got trap. Whip. Click. This is happening. Like, this is happening. You can't stop it. You can't stop us. Your eyes can see. And with insight. Almost quill. SH. We've got trash. Bash. Bus. Boy. We don't have boy. We don't have an O. Bye. Rat. I think I said rats. K. Okay. I'm going to call it there. If you are good at this letter thing and you see some words that we didn't mention, feel free to put that in the comments to share with others. Some people are better than this than others. Say which pick you chose and what word you saw. And thank you for playing along. See, you know, we've got some stuff about communication here, right? So I'm gonna just take my deck that's called What Needs to Be Said. I'm gonna just get some cards from there. I told you so. So perhaps this is something you had a feeling about anyway. I shuffle the camera shakes because I'm sitting on my bed. I would be honored. I could talk to you all night. I'm sorry. What needs to be said around this situation where we're putting things back together to be whole and beautiful and step forward with a message? Sorry, and I'm lying. Alright, so there's some sort of deception that needs to come to light. You know, in this case, because it was something in the subconscious, it's not like necessarily that someone was doing something intentionally. Seems like some information had been missing the whole time. So whoever was just doing the best with what they could. Have we met before? You may have done this part in another lifetime. You kind of have that vague feeling. That love. About seeing. Seeing the truth. The truth is going to be revealed. Somebody's kind of been talking shit, I think. Like, don't give up. Wow. Yeah, don't give up. This is a really big opportunity to shine. And after a situation where you were lied to. Yeah, something wasn't true, something you thought was true. Someone tried to tell you it wasn't true. You didn't believe them. You didn't give up. You kept talking. You kept wanting to know more. Now it's going to be revealed to you. If it hasn't already, it's about to be. It does have something to do with love, love and beauty. Something, something broke apart and was scattered across, and then it was really hard to get the pieces back. It took a lot to get you. I mean, the whole earth had to be traveled to collect the pieces of Osiris. Okay? It was a big mission. Oh, and it's probably been riddled with like symbolism and deeper meaning and like signs. So it may have been confusing at times. Yeah, it was definitely kept. You're unclear about this, but there's a reason for that. That's because you've done it before, and you're being given an opportunity to do it different this time. It's all up to you. Like, it's a test in a way, right? It's like, are you going to be honored? Are you going to take the high road? Are you going to do what needs to be done? Are you going to say sorry? Are you going to admit you were lying? Are you going to be like, I told you so when somebody else is suffering, you know? There's something to see here about this whole situation. You need to show somebody something. You have a message that needs to be shared through your self-expression, through having to do with short distance travel, communication, siblings, or neighbors. When I split the deck, this one, I don't trust you. If somebody's lying, there's definitely some trust, but there was definitely a lack of trust, maybe as the catalyst for this whole situation, like because you couldn't see everything, you didn't trust things, perhaps. Why is this happening? Because you didn't trust. There was an opportunity that was missed because you didn't trust, because you wanted to know more. You were waiting to see. Yeah. Okay, Spirit, what kind of advice do we have for this situation? What's going to be helpful for pick one right now around this situation? What would love do? So, love, right? Love is the answer. Right here at the end of the story is love. What would love do? So, you're trying to get to love. What would love do? What would love do when it comes to wanting to know more? What would love to do when it comes to not trusting? What would love do when it comes to saying sorry, or I'm lying, or have we met before, or I could talk to you all night, or it would be honored, or don't give up, or I told you so, or an opportunity? What would love do? Would love run away, or would love open their eyes? You know, you've got two eyes here. What would love do is an easy way to decide on a situation. Look at this, you've got the union. Come into union. Now, if this isn't directly meaning with somebody else, Osiris was one of the twin flames who came into union with his love, Isis. She's the one who collected all his parts all over the earth. And coming into new union could be an internal thing, where you come into union with your masculine and feminine sides, balancing both equally to move forward more gracefully in this situation, more grounded, more from your heart, not just your logic. Perhaps the heart was kind of not used in this situation. That's just a guess based on the fact that there was lying, but could it could not have to do with that at all. Oh boy. Yeah, this is again, like I said before. Oh, and I just found some more cards that okay. So these all fell down here on my lap. I found those down there, so we'll look at those in a second. But look, this is 1111. That's a divine union. That's also divinely guided union. It's synchronistic. It's a very spiritual thing that you're going through. Next to what would love do, wisdom over knowledge. So it's not what you know, because what you know is limiting you. In this situation, what you knew was the thing that limited you and that led you down the wrong path. And so this is saying go from what you've already learned through your experience, the wisdom, not the wisdom of, oh, I decided to do this to cope with that situation. The wisdom is when you healed the pain of a situation and you know from that healed place. That's wisdom. This is affecting your home life, your base, your foundation, who you are as a result of the home you grew up in. And this can all happen now. Like as soon as you see it, you can do it. Because I don't know how to feel and I'm processing. Yeah. So take the time to be in the now moment and process all the feelings that are currently present within you. Do this within the safety of your own home, your container, But home is where the heart is. Home is where what love does. So while you're processing, what you're processing is anything that's keeping you away from that. Okay, can we get one more of these? Look at that. Yeah, you're doing a great job because the outcome is victory. Just knowing, like keeping your eye on the prize, going towards what we've just talked about. With this new knowledge, this new thing, this new way of seeing things. Okay? And maybe that comes through, questioning things. Ask and you shall receive. Why is this happening? We talked about it. It's because it's a karma that was existing in your energy body, and now it's time to resolve it. That's it. It has to do with your beauty. Seeing your own beauty, I think, has a lot to do with this. Seeing your own beauty. Yeah, you're taking back something that was stolen from you, that was broken off of you. Wow. Well, I hope that's helpful to you. Pick one. I am going to stop it there. And I really appreciate you taking the time to spend this with me. And if you want to share in the comments, I welcome that. But if you don't, that's okay too. And I will see you next time. Thank you. I picked two. Thank you for being here. And we're going to get right into your spiritual insight that is most helpful for you at this time. Oh, looks like you are clearing some karma, collecting pieces of yourself or someone else. Could be a friend. Could be the remnants of your hopes and dreams. But friendship definitely plays into this. Some sort of passion being ignited in you now for your day-to-day life. Maybe you haven't had a lot of that lately. Like happening after the full moon. The full moon was kind of finishing up a cycle for you. And Now that that cycle is finished and you've just been processing that information, you're coming to this other side where you're going to be able to access some passion. Yeah. Some like real drive to be whole, independent, or even interdependent, but definitely not codependent. This Pallas Athene was the goddess who was born fully grown and with a weapon in hand out of the head of her father. You know, so this is representing power, justice, truth. Pallas Athene is noble, and it's like anything that was keeping you from that has now been burned away in a way. So now you will bring this energy into your day-to-day life because that cycle that you were in came to an end. It might have been a cycle you were in with friends. You might have had a certain soul contract to keep a certain amount of friends or certain people in your life for a certain amount of time. It was a karmic thing for sure, but you just cleared it. You literally cleared it. You did what you had to do. You held up your end of the bargain, and you've made the right choice for yourself. And if not already, then that's what you will be doing very shortly here. It's time to honor yourself, what you bring to the table. You have maybe spent a lot of time trying to heal others, to try to take care of everybody else, like put everybody else's pieces back together. It's like the den mother, like just trying to make sure everybody's doing okay. But it's kind of shifting now. Things are shifting for you. Okay. I'm just gonna do some letters. This can be a fun thing, but basically it's like you can make some words out of these letters. And you want to share them with us. You can put which pick you chose in the comments and what words you see. Otherwise, we're just gonna play for a minute, not too deeply. Let's see what we can come up with. These could be initials that are meaningful to you, or words. Go, got, loot. We got two triple letters here. Interesting. That's like a lot. That's like threes and threes. That's communication. That's celebration. We don't have any use for our cues. We don't have any use for our cues if we don't have any use for our cues. Who might be significant to you. We've got volt. We've got foot. Goof. Feel. Gel. Fog. Lot. Okay. Two. Okay. Feel free to help us out if you saw something we didn't see. When I say we, I'm assuming Spirit's helping me when I come up with these little words, but who knows? Maybe they just sit back and let me play. Okay. I'm having quite an inflammation attack, so if I sound nasally or kind of just low energy, that is why. I'm realizing that I've got to give up sugar once and for all. Sugar and gluten really fucked me over this time. I got so inflamed that my lips split. Like, okay, I got it. I won't do it again. It was sweet while it lasted. Okay. What do we want to know? Let's see. We closed out a part of our lives. We're headed into a new part that's full of passion and fiery drive for our day-to-day lives. I mean, what more do we need to know? That's relevant to you. Who knows? Let's see if there's any advice. Oh, I know. We got to do some blocks. Look, change, breathe, Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio is like, this could have had to do with other people for sure. Other people's money, other people in general, or things that you picked up from other people that was kind of stuff below the surface of you. There's a definite transformation on a very deep level here. But take it slow, you know, stay connected to source and be in the flow and go through this change like effortlessly. It's a change to your day-to-day way of being. Oh, look, we had our friendships in the 11th house, but we also have dreams, and that's also the house of hopes and dreams. So this is like heading toward your dreams or recognizing your dreams or a step towards your dreams. Now, I read the tops, but because we're on this camera, you can see the sides. So if the side word means something to you as well, you can take it. If it stands out to me, I might mention it. In this case, we've got devotion, but of course, if you're going to go toward your dreams, you've got to be devoted. We have sister. So your sister or sisterhood might be relevant to this. We've got feather, that might be a message for you. A feather to me, it tells me the angels are with you. So it's a divinely guided process that you're going through. It's like this was time for it to happen. Oh, you have a grandparent with you. That may be on the spirit side, your grandparent is with you. I have both grandmothers and grandfathers that are like, yeah, that's what I heard, and I tried to ask. Yeah, if you felt warm when you had the thought of who would it be, that was them. This warmth is your grandparents with you, giving you a hug. And look, routine. That's what's changing. The sixth house, day-to-day living, your routine is being uprooted. You are on fire towards something that you are determined to accomplish, something you've dreamed about for a long time, and something you're finally being given the go for. Finally, you wanted it. You might have even wondered why you couldn't make it happen before now. It was because of karma. It's because there was a certain cycle that was being played out that you had to finish before you could move on. So, forgive yourself for any um, self-deprecating thoughts you might have had about your inability to move forward before now. This was the time you were moving forward. It was always going to be this time. It was set up purposely so that you'd have a choice. At this time, after that segment of your life is complete, you have a choice to move towards your dreams. It's your choice. It's not going to happen without you making the change to your routine. But if you do, you know where you're going. You're being guided. You've got people with you. The feathers to you might be a grandparent giving you a message. It might be a sister giving you a message. Your ancestors are so with you. Oh yeah, I got big chills on that. You're breaking some sort of pattern that's been perhaps going in your family line for a long time. You're like the chosen one. What, this just flew out? 11th house. It's your dreams. It's your hopes and dreams. What is it? The big impossible dream. That's what you're going for. Nothing left will do. You're being pushed, and they're going to annoy the piss out of you if you don't go towards it. It's going to be seen by public. But go slow. Slow so you can hear them. Slow like your breath. Slow your breath down. Have you heard of squared breathing? It's wonderful. Highly recommend squared breathing exercises. Look that up if it interests you. Wow. Yeah, this is a process, so you're going to have to go slow, make it step by step. That's why you're changing your routine, because it's in your routine that you're doing things. It's in your day-to-day life. It's the structure that you're creating in your life that's going to make this happen. This is an axis of digging below the surface and grounding things that you find. So it's like you're kind of digging down into your depths to get what's in there and bring it to earth in a beautiful way. You're doing this through being still, honestly. It's like this isn't a move fast kind of thing at all in any way. At all in any way. Nope. Nope. But it is changing your routine. So if your routine has been really slow, you might be picking the pace up a little, or you might just be adding time to be alone with yourself. I see the root. Okay, so here's what it is. You grew up living a certain way, and now you're going to rewrite that way. From the wisdom that you've gained through living that way, it's now time for you to rewrite your story. Your hopes and dreams, write them as if they're real. Feel them as if they've already happened. I don't know if you are familiar with Kyle Cease, but he has what he calls Kylego. You can hear my son in the background. It's just that he's completely rude and inconsiderate and having a really hard time with it. As he's here for a visit, regretting inviting him. So, you're rewriting your story just like apparently I have to rewrite mine. Mine apparently includes people who are not considerate. And I'd like to open that up for myself. So maybe something similar is happening for you. Maybe it's your family life, or maybe it's just the way that you're expected of in life. But it is your choice on the changes you make. So it is, you do have free will. So go with what feels good to you. Go with what feels right. It's going to be hard. That's why you're going slow, to maybe hear yourself and hear what the options are. Hear how to move through it with the guidance that you have within yourself. Let's go with one more. This deck, this is kind of trying to come out before I even start to shuffle. Opportunity. So this is an opportunity. You're going to see it when you're slow, when you're still. You won't see it until they're so wanting you to slow down and dig under the surface of things. Ask yourselves the whys, I guess, the whys of things. This opportunity could come in the way of just seeing life differently, in in the way of love, or even in money. Yeah, there was just something that you didn't know. You may need to be the fool. Go right where others don't go. Say what others won't say. Do what others won't do. Maybe that's how you get through this. I've been shown a lot of that lately in the spiritual teachings from my guides. Why? That's what you need to ask. Why is this happening? You know? And then surrender to this change. This is going to be a hard change. You're not going to want to do it. It's going to be uncomfortable. You have a comfort zone. You're living very happily within your comfort zone. But now it's time to give that up. Okay? I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for being with me. I'm going to have to take care of something now that somebody is trying to play music while I'm recording. Yay, fun times. Hello, pick number 3. Get into your reading. I've got the blow dryer going on a frozen pipe. So let's just ignore that sound in the background. Oh, look at that. I've got a frozen pipe and the first thing out is water. Water can also signify emotions. So the spiritual insight could have to do with emotions, getting them flowing. I always look for the metaphysical correlation in things that happen in my life. So having a frozen water pipe just means that there's somewhere I'm not willing to feel some certain things. But I was able to keep the rest of the pipes unfrozen. It's just one that's frozen. So that's a good sign. This is something having to do with emotions at the core of who you are, your foundation, your home, your ancestry. It's like there's some sort of tension between in a situation that's going to actually bring out something beneficial. And it's happening now for a reason. It's time for this to happen. It could have to do with communication, short distance travel, siblings or neighbors. Definitely expression is coming into play here. The expression doesn't have to be directly through communication, but can be more creative. It could be expressing yourself in some creative way. It's kind of like this is a progression from pile 2. It's like pick 2, they were changing something at their base, and here we are moving into expressing it in a new way, expressing self in a new creative way. But it is tension that's driving you to it. Tension is driving you to change something. But you are always going to do this. This is set up for you to do it this way, and it's going to benefit you so much. Wherever Jupiter is in your chart right now is kind of like the culprit. I can tell you Jupiter is very powerful. You're not going to go against it. Like, it might be uncomfortable only because it's breaking out of a comfort zone, you know, where you came from, who you are at the base. It's shifting. Jupiter is definitely influencing this shift. So if you do astrology, take a look at Jupiter in your chart. Oh, let's see, Jupiter is conjuncting Chiron in my chart. Chiron is the wounded healer. Okay, so we've got minutes. When it comes to this short distance travel or siblings and neighbors, minutes count. Don't put something off when you get an urge to do it, okay? Act when you're supposed to on this, okay? Like today, like within one day, within 1 month, you'll see the culmination of this change. And this change does have to do with somebody else, you know, and being in relationship with somebody else. It's like you're shifting something on the core of who you are, which is leading you to act and express, and then that's maybe going to push you to expressing creatively in a new way. And that creative expression is going to lead you to a relationship. The shift may happen within a day, the relationship may take a month, but every minute counts when it comes to applying this change. Wow. So wherever you feel or sense tension, wherever there's something that's not quite working, you're being given energy to work on it. Some sort of joining happening. It could be a business partnership. It could be that you start creatively expressing yourself in a way that attracts like a business partner. Let's ask about this composite, why don't we, right? Is that what you want to know about? All the things we've said? I feel like that's kind of an enticement, and because it's kind of a prediction, um, it, it's could change. The more we look at things, sometimes the more they change, I found. Because we can't look at something without affecting it. So I'm going to keep that as part of your unfolding, you know? I feel like the thing that has to be focused on is expressing emotions in a new way, expressing emotions creatively, and responding to this, whatever it is that comes through communication. There's something that's going to require a response from you. It's going to change your home base and perhaps put you in partnership, business partnership, perhaps. Interesting. Okay. I feel like this is the thing we're going to explore here because minutes, this is like kind of like crunch time, right? First, let's look at some letters. These would be letters or initials, sometimes words or forms. These are just kind of extra messages or confirmation that these messages are meant for you, if they're relevant to you. If you find any words that we don't find when we're playing around here, feel free to note which pick you chose and what words you saw. Comment section. Some people are better than this than others, so I welcome others to contribute. Can be fun. The X, Y, Z. Y, Z, it's like the ending of something. Two E's. Two I's. Zig. Bug. Bug can be an outside influence. Something that bugs you. Be that tension. It's like you got to get in touch with your own heart and your own discernment. The bug is only preying on a weakness that you have. So identify that weakness, close it up. Big. Fig. Okay, so if you see anything, feel free to add. Thank you. So any of those could have been initials for people watching as well. I find out why minutes is here. What's going to happen here that is going to need a response? Personal transformation, fear of change, averting disaster. Okay. The reason they're telling you this is because there is something that, you know, even if you miss it, don't worry. But there's something that can be avoided if you make a change now, if you take control of it. Don't be scared, because, you know, the worst that can happen is it comes unexpectedly and then you figure it out in retrospect. It's not, and you'll be like, oh, I already learned this lesson. And Spirit will be like, yeah, but you forgot when the time came. That's okay, because that's like, you know, Spirit is like an unconditionally loving parent that just gives you chances and chances. It's just your own self that's, you know, having to live out the stuff that is a result of your choices. It has to do with manifestation, financial opportunity, and skill development. Page of Pentacles. So we did talk about this shifting into some sort of ability or opportunity to maybe be in partnership for business. So this is an opportunity where you're going to avoid something, or choose a change that is going to also be affecting your financial opportunities and your development of skills, and manifesting what you really want. Positivity, fun, warmth, success, and vitality. Look at, you got the Sun card. I mean, this is divinely orchestrated stuff. This is happening for you, either way, eventually. Control, willpower, success, action, and determination. The Chariot. This is making a decision. This is you taking it into your own hands. Yeah, you don't really want things to be handed to you, because they can be taken just as fast. You're working towards this, you're earning this, you're making the decision to do this, to put your focus on this and to create this for yourself. So I hope you get the sense that minutes doesn't mean it's going to be an emergency necessarily. But if it is, be ready to act fast. Yeah, there's somebody, like, you may have failed at something before, and now it's like another chance for you to not fail at it. And if you fail at it, well, you'll be given another choice. Yeah, you're just trying to learn something. Something that you agreed to experience, and that you have been experiencing up until the point you change it. Giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, and charity. The Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you're going to be very abundant, and this is going to be something where it creates the win-win-win. So everybody wins, not just you, not just this person you're in partnership but the whole world is benefited by you just taking this upon yourself. Mental clarity, intellectual power, authority, and truth. King of Swords. Once you see and know what you have to do, it's just like, do it. You've already thought about it, you know it's fair, you've contemplated if there was a time to make a decision like that. It's time for you to shine. I feel like because you've done it before a million times, you're going to know what other choice could be made, because you already know one outcome. So, you know, because that's the choice you always make in that situation. This is going to be this, it's going to be the same situation with a new opportunity to make another choice about it. And when you do it, you can just do it, because you already know about it. You'll just see it and you'll be like, oh. Okay. Long-term view, sustainable results, perseverance, and investment. Seven of Pentacles. This is definitely changing your financial status. I mean, it could feel like really hard. It could feel really hard. I mean, you would have changed it by now if it wasn't hard, right? It's like at the base of who you are. It feels like part of you. It just isn't. It feels like part of you, though, to you. It's our creative opportunities, intuitive messages, curiosity, and possibility. The Page of Cups. Going into this with like the King of Swords, he's making that quick decision, but the Page of Cups is going in with like curiosity, with like the possibilities of things, right? Like he's not so decisive as the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is being used to make the decision to go forward, but then you're going into something you don't know about. You're not a King of Swords anymore. That's why it's so hard. It's like King of Swords was making this decision all along, and he chose to stay in the comfort zone. That was wise then, but now there's a new opportunity which will require you to step down into a place where you don't know as much about a thing that you're going to be into. It's actually very beneficial to have fresh eyes on an old thing. So whatever you're entering into, maybe it's not that other people are not already doing it, but maybe it's that your view of it is going to be beneficial to everybody in the world. Like your take on it, your special take on this thing that you're going to be entering into. It's something about all stemming from creatively expressing yourself in an emotional way. Multiple priorities, time management, prioritization, adaptability. Yeah, it's going to feel like you're juggling something. It's going to feel like this is going to kind of mess things up a little bit for a minute, right? Things are no longer going to be stable on that foundation. You're just going to adapt. Fairness, truth, law, cause and effect. This is justice for you. This is meant to happen for you in life at this time. You must have earned this in another lifetime. Set yourself up to come in and do it this time. Yeah. Magician. Manifestation, power, resourcefulness, inspired action. I'm going to be inspired to make this new choice. It's like a magical moment, you know? It's going to take courage, confidence, independence, social, butterfly, and determination. The Queen of Wands. She's pretty established in who she is and how she handles her emotions. So that's the position you're assuming when you go into this. It's like you found a new way to handle an emotional matter. New because it's not the way you used to do things or the way you were taught to do things or the way your ancestors did things. It's a new way to handle emotional issues. But it's like you're taking a chance on it. Wow. Wow, wow. All right, any advice here? Advice before I go check that blow dryer on my pipes? Let's pray for clearing of that one hot water pipe going to the kitchen. Everything else stayed unfrozen. We got 5 degrees here. So what could this imply? You know, you're going to be faced with some decision and you're going to want to look at it. Like, what could this imply? What could this opportunity imply? Like that there's something better, that there's a different way to do it, this thing that I've been doing the same old way for a long time. So asking yourself questions that are open-ended like this, part of what the advice is. You've got compromise. So it's a different, so maybe if there was a dictatorship when it came to emotional issues, maybe now there's going to need to be some compromise, and this is going to take some strength. Might feel like a compromise. I don't actually like compromise, to be honest. So, but Spirit is suggesting it. Be receptive to these new ideas, like get in the receiving mode. So you're not kind of in that masculine strength alone. You're also able to receive your messages. So it's kind of keep some balance. And this partnership that you're going to come into, whether it be love or work, it is with a soulmate. It's something you guys planned. So you have to be open to this. It's going to require some bravery because you're stepping out of a box that you've been in for a long time. But look, it is your responsibility to do so, to take action on this. Take a little look at what your weaknesses are, because then you'll know what's holding you back. We all have weaknesses and we all have strengths. It's very helpful to know ours. Very helpful to know your weaknesses, very helpful to know your strengths. Hold the vision for what you want to achieve. Cancer energy, mothering, nurturing, loving. That's also home energy. And look, we get the IC again. This is definitely, hold on a moment. I had to cough and go check the blow dryer. So we get this IC card again. So considering your roots and rewrite. So basically that was the end story for pile 2 as well. You may have been drawn to that pile. All 3 of these piles had a similar theme, but a little bit different. Pile 1 was slightly different. So maybe there was someone who watched all of these, and then there was like someone that just picked one, because there was a little bit different energy or feel. But these last 2 piles were kind of along the same lines, and all of them I can relate to. So, but there's a rewriting of the story, which puts you back online with your destiny, basically. As far as investigating whether this is a soulmate pairing, or whether it's a work or a love, we don't have indication, so it must be for different people. It's different things. Could be both. Why compromise, Spirit? That's what I want to know. If I would have got this reading, I want to know, why do I have to compromise, Spirit? Shall we ask that? I'm not being unreasonable. There's no reason that I can see what I'd have to compromise. Bonded, so because there's a soul contract. Um, we're reading the tops of these, but if you see a word, and it's relevant for you, then you can fit it into the reading for yourself. If I see the word and it's being brought to my attention, I might mention it, but otherwise I'm just going to read the tops. And these red blocks are having to do with love issues, and the red and white blocks are having to do with decisions. So when we're asking about why we need to compromise, and it comes up with bonded, I'm saying, like, this is something that we are in a contract to do. And we've got social. And look, we have magnet. So you're just being drawn to do this because it is a contract. And understand. There's something to be understood about this. Oh yeah, here we go. Pile 2 had this too. There's like tons of blocks in that box. And they all have a different word on each side, but we got routine again. I actually did shuffle them in between uses. I did it off camera while we were paused because it's very loud. So routine. Yeah, your routine is changing from the base. And it's your routine to either compromise or not compromise. So whatever you've been doing is like look at that. We've got phone. Huh. Maybe you have to compromise the way that you're interacting with somebody, right? Like maybe you refuse to have like a long distance relationship over the phone, but that's the only option. So you have to compromise what you decided previously. Something like that, perhaps. Let's see. I have a few more blocks, please. Crowd, swing, mad, and soulmate again. So I think that you might be swinging away from the crowd, you know, or you're going to swing the crowd. And it might seem completely mad what you're doing. Really. You're going to arrange something. You might make a post about it, or you might mail something. Maybe a coffee involved. Wake up. Hmm. Like maybe you like tea, but there's only coffee. You have to compromise. Like perhaps this compromise isn't such a big deal. It's just this one thing that you decided before. And since we're in Mercury retrograde, it makes sense that now we are all being offered an opportunity to redecide on something we've already made a decision about. So, whatever this is, you probably decided that you were only willing to do it one way. And now you're going to be faced with the reason to take a look, reconsider, be receptive, and be willing to compromise, rewrite the story. You decided it was one way, but it's not that way. Yeah, you've been trying to control something. And there's something, this is going along with your soul's purpose. You're meant to flow. You're meant to flow emotionally in a different way than you have been. Oh, this thing that you're trying to control is the thing keeping you from flowing. Yeah. And I know what that is in my life. It's the fact that I can't get my son to follow rules around smoking cigarettes while he's there at my house. Pay attention to signs. There'll be signs guiding you. Be bold and take charge. So you have to make the change. You have to decide that you want the change and then make the change. You are safe and protected at all times. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like you're wicked out of your comfort zone, but this is what you planned. Stop trying to make something happen. So you're rewriting the story. You're not acting out the new story. Okay? First rewrite it, let go of control. You're not dictating this. You're dictating your choices within this. And look, you always have a choice. So your choice is to hold on to that control or let go of that control. Go a new way. The thing you're controlling, the thing you're trying to control is the thing keeping you from progressing out of this. So say you weren't ready, you're just going to stay where you are. That's it. You may stay where you are until it's ready to drive you insane. And then maybe you'll make the change, or then you'll have the tower moment. None of these things are terrible, wrong, or bad. I'm just saying that's how it works. We're archetypal energy living beings. Like there are patterns to all these things. That's why the tarot works. It's because like we know what patterns humans go through when they live. And we know that a tower moment happens when you won't change. I trust in the perfection of divine timing and allow my life to unfold as it should. I do complete work, I tie up loose ends, follow through on projects, and enjoy the feeling that comes from a job well done. So maybe that's what you're changing in your day-to-day life here. Foundation of who you are. Maybe some of those things changing about following through. Yeah, tying up loose ends. And how you make decisions around doing that or not. And just because I feel like it, I'm going to go for some Archangel Michael cards. Saying some energy healing work could be helpful for you at this time and with this situation. So don't be afraid to reach out. Some assistance with this. There are even like frequencies on YouTube that you can listen to. There are essential oils and crystals. Like all of that is energy. Basically, all you're wanting to do is get that higher view. So you've got to raise your vibration. The control issue is keeping your vibration into a locked place. Make a commitment. What are you committed to? The comfort zone? Or look, have confidence. He has confidence in you, but it's, the reason he would say have confidence is because he recognizes this is scary. And this, when I split the deck, the last one that comes. Oh, and another one flips with it. Admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. Yeah, so it's kind of inkling of a knowing below the surface. Go forward fearlessly. You got this. Okay? So the reason you're compromising is because you just decided something that puts you in a rigid pattern, and that ridge is holding you back, and you're trying to get over that ridge. So they're just saying, instead of having to leap over that ridge, maybe just like edge over it out as you compromise your way out of it, as you kind of question yourself on the things you've already decided, and write a new story for yourself that will allow you to live out your destiny. That's what you came to do. You're going to do it eventually anyway. All right. Thank you for participating in this pick a card, and I will see you next time.